partnership with Pakistan. They have gone after ISIS-Khorasan, killing dozens of them. Through a relationship we have with them, providing intelligence, they have captured at least 5 ISIS-Khorasan high-value individuals. They extradited back Jafar, who was one of the key individuals behind the Abbey Gate bombing. And the first person he called, Chief of the Army Staff Munir, was me, and said, I've caught him, I'm willing to extradite him back to the United States, please tell me.
On the 1st of January 2018, President Donald Trump tweeted, and I quote the tweet, "The United States has foolishly given Pakistan more than $33 billion in aid over the last 15 years, and they have given us nothing but lies and deceit, thinking of our leaders as fools. They give safe haven to the terrorists we hunt in Afghanistan with little help, no more." And you just saw what the CENTCOM Chief General Michael Kurilla had to say in that video about the phenomenal counter-terrorism partnership.
Yeah.
Now, to discuss this bizarre paradox, I have with me today Shri Vikram Sood, former Chief of RNAW. Welcome to Samvad, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, the US CENTCOM Chief, we heard him, sir, General Michael Kurilla, has called Pakistan as a phenomenal counter-terrorism partner for US and made specific mention of Pakistan handing over ISIS-Khorasan members, including the Abbey Gate attack accused Mohammed Sharifullah, to the US. Now, incidentally, Sharifullah was in jail, and he was in jail in Afghanistan until the Taliban, which was openly supported by Pakistan, they took over Afghanistan, and there was chaos, and the US forces were retreating. It was then that Sharifullah was released from prison. So if he was not released, he would not have been able to do Abbey Gate. But then Gen Faiz Hameed, he was in Kabul during those days. He was being celebrated. It was being celebrated. Khwaja Asif, the defense minister, has said that we have been doing the dirty work of the West, including US and UK, for the past 30 years. Abdul Rauf Azhar, the mastermind of the killing of Daniel Pearl, he was in Bahawalpur when the Indian forces killed him. Now we know about Osama bin Laden, Mullah, Omar, Al-Jawahiri. I mean, all these glorified terrorists, they were all in safekeeping in Pakistan. Not to mention that this phenomenal counter-terrorism partner was in FATF grey list till 2021. Now, for people like us, sir, this is all very bizarre, as I said at the start. Now, I would ask you and request you to take us through this phenomenal counter-terrorism partnership, as they call it.
So let's just understand that for Pakistan, for America, terrorism is only terrorism that affects them. Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, and the various other organizations which target India are not of their concern. If you recall George Bush's famous statement after World Trade Center, that we will go after terrorists with universal or global, I don't remember the word, reach, global reach. Now that automatically excludes the India-specific organizations that Pakistan had nurtured. Okay, so he was talking about Al-Qaeda and such. Bush was talking about them. We thought that America is on our side. He wasn't. The Americans are never going to be on your side on these issues. They are looking after only their interests, and that interest includes terrorism. So the kind of the terrorists that the Pakistanis used to hand over to the Americans as they went along, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and various other people, were gifts and profession of loyalty. The Americans were very happy with all that. But they never touched LAT or anybody else. Whatever happened. 2008, 2006, 2001, never. They never touched them. So this dichotomy, apparent dichotomy, is something that the Pakistanis have learned and the Americans understand. How was Osama bin Laden staying there for so many years? And how was it suddenly discovered and executed? And how was his deputy, I always forget his name, who was shot by, was killed by a UAV, I think, that went through the window and killed him. So these are things that happen not by chance. They are made to happen when the requirement is there. And once I had written that Osama will be found when it is desirable to find him, or when it is suitable to find him. So coming the elections of Obama, you needed a victory and you got that victory. So that is why the CENTCOM commander is quite right in saying that Pakistan has been giving them phenomenal assistance in their fight against terror aimed at America or its allies. It is not, they're not concerned whether he gives Hafiz Saeed to us or he gives anybody else to us. It is this one only. So there is no contradiction as far as I'm concerned. I know that they're playing a game. And as Hamid Gul said once in his statement, you know, America defeated Russia with our assistance in Afghanistan. And America will be defeated by American help. So अपने आप को वो लेंगे. That's the duality of their Pakistani game. The Americans don't seem to fully understand the implications of this. They have allowed Pakistan to be a terrorist state under a nuclear umbrella. They will not let Iran become a nuclear state. Okay? They will go to war for that. They have allowed Pakistan to commit terror under a nuclear umbrella against India so that India can be kept in check. And when May 7 to 10 happened, and we hit back hard, the American government, led by Trump, sort of jumped out of their chairs and said, what is this going on? They had to called for a ceasefire, claimed it's been done, all that sort of thing. They ignored the fact that the Pakistani DGMO rang our DGMO and said, "Bas karo. Please stop it." So this is where we are. Americans will not let Pakistan down. When they're doing all this, it's bad optics. I know IMF में भी दे रहा है, World Bank भी पैसे दे रहा है, ADB भी दे रहा है. There may have been decisions taken much earlier, but you know the timing of those decisions. Now I believe some other payment has been made or committed, the fourth one. So this is what we are up against. Israel has the full backing of America against Iran for terror. Of course, their terror is on a much larger scale, I admit that. But we have been fighting this terror ever since the beginning also. But we don't get that cover that you can go and hit them. I would think that Pakistan was allowed to go nuclear to be a balance against India. So that's where we are today.
So
Pakistan will come back at you later, some 2 years, 3 years, 6 years, 6 months. I don't know when. and where. That's for the government to try and find out. So that's how we're located today.
So speaking of the nuclear umbrella, Prime Minister Netanyahu, he's repeatedly speaking of the nuclear terrorism being indulged in by Iran, the nuclear weapons they were supposed to be having or on the verge of having. The enrichment was very close. But a part of this phenomenal counter-terrorism story, in the words of General Michael Kurilla, lies, as you said, in the nuclear, this relationship they had with Pakistan, the United States and Pakistan. They're oblivious to the fact, apparently, North Korea was armed by Abdul Qadir Khan. He's a hero in Pakistan today, till today. In 2005, the Time magazine called him the merchant of menace, where they are very clear in the article that he had single-handedly made the world a much more dangerous place than was previously imaginable. They said that the network was still operational, which was denied by the government in Pakistan. But in 2015, they initially said that they have given some centrifuge to Iran also. They did, but then Rafsanjani, the president of Iran, he in 2015 said that he thanked and confirmed that the nuclear technology had been received from Pakistan by Iran. Now he got away, Abdul Qadir Khan got away very softly without house arrest, kya kiya sir, nothing much more of consequence. So how has this story, you said that is a counterbalance to India, but now Israel is also getting affected because of the same proliferation network which AQ Khan set up, and I'm not very sure as to how long Kim Jong-un will stay away from all this battle, because I was seeing this meme where he's crying that yaar maine hi shuru kiya sari cheezein and I've been kept out of this whole fight. Now get me into this fight somehow. So North Korea nuclear armed, it can hit US. Iran nuclear armed, on the verge of getting nuclear armed, can hit Israel. So US interests are getting hit all over. But don't the Americans understand this?
I wouldn't know how they can't understand this. When it comes to North Korea, I suppose because they can't do anything because of Russia and China, they learn to live with it. Okay, you meddle with China, you meddle with DPRK, you meddle with China. You meddle with DRK, you also meddle with Russia. So you can't touch them. You can only hope that this chap doesn't go full throttle on that. हमारे लिए कौन है?
Sir,
Who's going to?
What is the way forward, sir, for us?
You have to be on your own. Learn to live on your own. Do your own thing. It's my interest first. You taught me this. The Americans are taught they say my interest first. So I say also my interest first. And it will take a lot of, you'll be under tremendous pressure if you adopt this. You'll be under tremendous pressure. Now they even want the Boeing black box to be sent to them.
Okay.
So these kinds of things, because they know Boeing is in danger of getting a bad name. So the basic thing is they don't like, and India, I think I've said it last time also, they don't want a powerful economically and militarily powerful India. It does not suit American interests. It doesn't suit Western interests. Because India plus China become two powerful Asiatic countries. And power slips from one side to the other. They're not concerned. They're more concerned that this doesn't happen, rather than the fact that in their own continent, in America now, and Europe a little earlier, it is an Islamic wave which is building up. And that is they have not discovered a way to find an answer to this. And they've been coddling them and trying to think that will not change. That is the bigger threat, that India is not going to attack anyone. Yeah, we want to have our markets, we want to have our resources, and we want to be economically rich and self-reliant. But we are not America's enemy or the West's enemy. There they've got an enemy sitting inside and they're not taking action. They're either stunned into inaction, or they think they can handle it. And they think that, this woke liberalism will solve their problems. We just make them understand how good we are. They're not. The guys who are leading this Islamic move are not going to understand this. So that is their real problem. First problem. First political problem. I'm not talking about economic issues. Yeah. So unless they learn to deal with this, then they can relate it to what Pakistan or Turkey or anybody else is doing. Erdogan talks of a caliphate, yeah.
True, sir.
And he may come into conflict with the Saudis, but that's their problem. The fact is that there is an Islamic churn in the Middle East, where perhaps the Ayatollahs wanted to be the leaders. There are others like Turkey and Saudis who don't like it, who may therefore tie up with the Israelis to finish this one off. Then the other one will start. Sunnis come. So, and I heard Netanyahu's this talk with Fox News a little while ago, and he says, well, we are the ones who are facing it. We are the ones who are doing it, not for ourselves alone, but for the world. Imagine what all Iran has done without a nuclear weapon. What all can it do with the weapon? It has raised Hamas, it has helped Hamas, it has aided Hezbollah, Houthis, everybody else. So, they're a small little country, surrounded by enemies or agents of enemies all around. So, they have a reason to be worried. So, and that's why we need to also concentrate on the flow that will come again one day. This time it was they would also have learned their lesson from this little 4-day war. So I think it was a very smart move on our part to stop it when we did, because we were only messaging. We were not trying to conquer. This is what can happen to you if you kill my people. So we'll have to now wait. I suppose the government is aware of all this situation. It must be taking steps. That's what I can say.
Sir, listening to you, sir, one thing comes to my mind, sir, कि Israel has got all the rights to self-defense, and rightly so. But when it comes to India, sir, there are so many ifs and buts that, the global war on terror looks like, what should I say, a misnomer, sir. It's not a global war on terror. India cannot defend itself, because the moment India starts defending itself, Western interests get hurt. So, I'm at loss of words as to how to explain this, sir. But how does a country which is surrounded on all sides by, you spoke of the Islamic churning, the Islamist churning, sir, Bangladesh, Pakistan, China playing a very clever game, Myanmar in trouble, Turkey, the new caliphate, Iran, God knows what is happening out there, sir. So how does India sir, position itself in this mess?
Metaphorically speaking, what it requires us to do is to build your fences. Because and to remember that you are on your own.
Sir, pardon me for interrupting, sir. Pardon me for interrupting, sir. I'll just add to this, sir. We build our fences. But India inside, sir, what about the Trojan horses inside? I mean, very, very sensitive issues. People don't talk about it.
There always are in every country Trojan horses. Do you think the Israelis got through to all these people inside Iran through only spotting them on the satellite? No, they had human intelligence, surely, to who's where. So, we are sab jagah hai. The only thing is ours is a democracy, therefore they can speak loudly. But when they speak loudly, you know who they are. There is also an advantage, that you can know, okay, this is the bent of mind, these are the kind of people who will be amenable to support the other side. By going alone, I mean that you take care of your backyard also. You can't just be looking at the fence or constructing, building your defense capabilities with the state of art. And perhaps you don't have to all the time compete with the American capabilities. They are global. We don't need that kind of capability. We need capability to handle your immediate threats. And a mindset that goes out of the defensive mode. And I've seen signs of that now after May 7, that the expectation probably was in Pakistan, अरे जैसे बालाकोट में किया था, जैसे पुरी में किया था, वही करेंगे, one off. It wasn't one off at all. So, and it was carefully calibrated. The escalation was carefully worked out, and it was stopped at the right time. I feel that if you go on and on, then it's like being in a gambler's den, doing your casino. Sooner or later, it turns against you. Your fortunes or whatever. The system is so built, then it comes back at you. So before that happened, you come, deliver your message and come back. It is possible that they do something next time. Our reaction may be stronger. That is what they would probably have to keep in mind, and I think that's what I would think might be the case. No more attacks on terrorists, just straight away. So these are possibilities that the government would be working on. I'm just speculating.
An even longer story.
I mean, no one wants to weaken India.
Yeah, it's a very good point. And someday, when India succeeds, we will want to weaken India. So that's
probably sooner rather than later.
Sir, I was hearing this interview between the economist Jeffrey Sachs and Tucker Carlson, where Jeffrey Sachs, he tells Tucker Carlson that one day when India succeeds, we will want to weaken India. And Tucker Carlson responds that that would be sooner than later. Now, it's all spoken in a very jestful sort of a manner. But the fact that, do you think that the fact that India has started to assert its strategic autonomy, especially after the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and refuses to be a part of the military arm which the US perhaps wants it to be against China, is that is that one of the reasons that why the US has suddenly, despite all these strategic relationships which were growing over a period of time, US seems to be again rehyphenating India and Pakistan. We were supposed to be getting, there was a 600 million deal between India and US for Apache helicopters. The squadron has been, it's been readied, but the helicopters have not been delivered. The GE has, that engine story from GE is known to all.
Oh, for our aircraft also.
For Tejas, sir, it is still not delivered. They're not delivering anything. Apache is not delivered, D-Link. So can India basically, I mean, if one is, are we paying the price? And I would love to pay that price for strategic autonomy, but are we paying that price for asserting our strategic autonomy? And can India depend on US for its growth story, deterrence or defense?
No. Either you toe my line or you don't. You can be a good boy only if you follow instructions. Do as I say, not do as I do. Russians, the French, the Israelis have never imposed sanctions on us. These people repeatedly leave you in midstream. And, you know, for one reason or the other, the deal doesn't materialize. You see, this BRICS is a bother for them. Indian deals, military deals with Russia are a problem to them. Oil deal is a problem to them. A, because we're getting around it, we're getting it cheaper or whatever. And B, we are undermining their sanctions policy. So, and we get under their skin as their this visitors, Commerce Secretary said. Well, we do get under their skin. So that's what I'm saying, that you have to learn to live with them, be nice to them. Don't be rough or gruff with them. Don't rub them the wrong way. But keep your own interests alive. But, you know, I see many of these things coming out these days with Western accents, people talking about how good India is. I don't know who's doing it. But there's one aspect about that, whoever has done it, that they're talking in the accent that the Americans are used to. Talking about India. You know, we go to America with our 6 different accents and sitting in front of an American audience. They have a problem. They have a huge problem. I mean, can't and can't is a different thing. So they find it difficult to understand how we can be one with so many languages, so many religions, all over, so many different food habits, and we're still one. But for us, it's quite natural. I mean, it comes to us naturally. To them, it doesn't. And that's where we are with them today. कहने को तो सब अच्छा है, you're a democracy, largest democracy, and so on and so forth. Like you said, Trump was making different statements in 2018 about terror. And today he's talking differently when it comes to India-Pakistan. Their generals are speaking differently. They were quiet all this while. Now suddenly, is it something to do with Noor Khan? There's a lot of speculation.
Yes, sir.
That one journalist, Pakistani journalist, had commented that there's an American base and you can't enter without permission. So is it that which bothers them?
Maybe it does.
So it is right to say that the Pakistanis have done a lot for them. Pakistanis have done a lot for themselves. They made a lot of money out of it themselves, individually and for the country. Less for the country, more for themselves. But a lot of money has gone into Pakistan, courtesy United States, which is, and you know, you find periodically you used to find एक Al-Qaeda का आदमी surrender कर दिया, एक never Taliban, only Al-Qaeda. Now and then, 1, 2, and the Americans were very chuffed about the whole thing. That a good guy, he's helping us. They were only helping themselves to stay on the right side of the United States. We have an unfortunate legacy right from the beginning, right from the days of the Cold War and NATO and all that, and Southeast Asia Treaty Organization, Baghdad Pact. We never joined them. And we set up our non-aligned thing. So they're from the days of Alan Dulles, John Foster Dulles, sorry, not Alan. Neutrality was sinful. No? You were either with the commies or with us. If you're not with us, you're a commie. And that's where they put us. And we didn't help by declaring ourselves a socialist republic in our constitution. I think that was the amendment they put in. So these are things that they felt we are not on their side. Besides, I think I mentioned last year, for them, strategically, the area more important was the area abutting of Iran, Afghanistan, not China.
So geography is important. Geography is important.
Early days of the Cold War, these two areas are more important, Afghanistan and Iran. Therefore, Northwest Frontier Province and Balochistan. Therefore, Karachi, Islamabad. So they were always the favorite fellows, and we were on sufferance, as it were. They had to deal with us. 1962, when China happened, they came running here to say that, okay, we'll give you this, that, and the other, but you may as well start your conversation with Pakistanis on Kashmir. So arm twisting was par for the course. And this and all these deals, there's always, even today, why are these engine deals and the helicopter deals held up? On some pretext or the other. Because they don't want to give it to us without the hidden other thing being given.
So the good boy, bad boy syndrome.
I mean, जब उसने बोल दिया कि Apple can't even make his products here, then he's telling us his interest comes first. So, all right, fine. I'll guard my interests. I look after myself. You know, if you are lucky, if you are able to do it, maintain a rate of growth where the others are falling behind. We'll not catch up with either China or America, but we will be an economy of sizable size. And it's a good thing is turning out back immigrants or hopefuls. All those bright minds will have to stay in India and work. Our thing should be to give those people opportunities in India to work. Government's job is not to give jobs, but to create the facilities for the market to function, for the manufacturer to manufacture, for the researcher to research. Not do the research, but let these guys do it. Privatize intellectual rights. Don't keep it to yourself. So that all these bright boys and girls stay here, work here, get their dreams fulfilled here. Why do we have to rush out to all these foreign lands and be treated as second-rate citizens? To come back, there is an opportunity here. We have to create it. We have to get out of a huge bureaucratic mindset that we have. That you make a rule and then you add a sub-clause to it, and another sub-clause, and a proviso, and an amendment. So the original rule is lost.
Sir, I'll extend to what you were saying right now, that the need for the Indians to come back. What we saw in LA a few days ago, I mean, US does not look very rosy, but obviously we have to change our mindset because the bright need opportunities. The bright cannot just stay back for emotions. They need opportunities. So I agree that the bureaucratic mindset has to change. Opportunities have to be given. But taking your the last answer a bit forward, sir, you spoke of the strategic importance of Pakistan vis-a-vis the West. I was going through a figure, sir, between 7th October 2001 to 30th August 2021, the period of the American stay in Afghanistan, around 2,500 US military personnel were killed and around 20,800 wounded. And so Pakistan continued to support the Taliban against US interests during this entire period, despite being a major non-NATO ally. So why has it remained that? Is it just because how will any country afford losing so many people with a so-called friend who is helping out the enemy? So what exactly is it in Pakistan which is a sort of an allure for the West?
I can't understand really, except if you think that Pakistan is in a position to tackle Iran, China, India, in pursuance to American interests. Iran because it's anti-US. So Pakistan is a contiguous state. It can handle that. Pakistan can be a nuisance state for India. And Pakistan and China are allies. So Pakistan has different facets to itself. Americans would, it's okay. India is a nice democratic country. They hold elections 5 years. Transfers of power are peaceful. Good job done. But that's it. We never ever gone beyond that. You can make bases here against China or Russia. You can use our airports to send U-2 flights out. We never ever even gave a chance to that. And in retrospect, I feel it is a good thing we didn't do it. Remember what Kissinger said? He said it is dangerous to be America's enemy, but it is fatal to be its friend. Okay? So I take a lot of solace in that statement. Let's just be dangerous. We don't want to go any beyond that. So, किसको नहीं छोड़ा इन्होंने? Many years ago, John Kerry and his wife, the Syrian President Assad and his wife, were having a cozy dinner in an exclusive restaurant in Damascus. The American Defense Secretary, Rumsfeld, he used to visit Baghdad regularly and was chummy with Saddam Hussein. So, it doesn't take long for them to turn turtle. You have done your bit, now out. Gaddafi, what was wrong with Gaddafi? He merely said that I want to make an African union with an African currency. Swept off. Saddam was also a friend. They armed him, equipped him to fight Iran. And suddenly to decided that he had to go. So out came your stories of Al-Qaeda and the bomb, etc., etc. All joot. There's no truth in that. But never mind. Job's been done. Saddam is gone. How did ISIS come into being? Just like that. And that the fellow who's now president of Syria,
Jolani,
Jolani.
sir. He's changed his name.
ISIS
ISIS
leader, terrorist, $10 million bounty on him. When it suits you, you make him president of a country. So what is your, there's no ethics involved in all this. It's all statecraft and national interest. And that's what we have to learn. These principled foreign policies and all these things are things of the past. Your principle is national interest, full stop. If you want to get rid of, you want to play games in Pakistan, if you can, do it. Peanut. How many of us really understand Pakistan? Tell me. What is in that mind? You got a glimpse from Ziaul Haq, then you got a glimpse from Asim Munir. They said exactly what they're on about. वो नहीं बदलेगा.
Very true, sir.
So we have to learn to deal with them on that premise. China may not fight a war with you. They will not be interested in fighting a hot war with you, but they can certainly try and squeeze you. So we have a lot of challenges ahead. No superpower ever became a small power, ever. In a flash, it takes years. And there is always resistance to the decline. Natural. So these are things that will happen for us in the future.
Sir,
the ability to think that you can... This was a nice display we had this time when people from different parties, different communities went in this delegation abroad to sort out, to give our points of view. It showed, and I must give it as a credit to all of them, that they spoke as with one voice. If some of the team members had been selected by their parties, that would have been disastrous. But they selected the right persons. Now, this is something we have to bear in mind, that no country loves you, admires you if you go out and talk against your country. They just sneer at you that, if you're going to talk like this, then how can we deal tomorrow? You're talking at us also. So you can have your differences here, any amount of differences. And if you can show to the world that we can be together, then that's a great step forward. Let's hope we're able to maintain it and not get involved in ground politics, one-upmanship, and electoral responsibilities, etc., etc. You will become great only when you do it on your own. And you will be great if you are able to stand up to opposition together. But Trojan horse तो है, तो हर जगह होता है.
हाँ सर, हमारे यहाँ थोड़ा dense है सर. We are a densely populated country, so obviously the number is higher.
हाँ, proportionally तो higher होगा ही.
Sir, statecraft, you were speaking of the statecraft. Sir, एक ऐसे hypothetical question, sir. We have shown our reticence towards very genuine cause, at least in Balochistan, I see, sir. From what I see, they were forcefully grabbed by Muhammad Ali Jinnah and his army after independence. So, but there's reticence and not much known is about them as to what their cause is. Do you find the cause justified, sir? Historically and strategically also, maybe.
It's Balochistan was never a part of the dominion of India. It was an independent Balochistan. When Pakistan was formed, it was the one country that could take a choice and stay out, which is what the Khan of Khalaf wanted. And Jinnah wouldn't have it. Although at one stage he had been a lawyer for the Khan. So once he became the Governor General, they didn't allow him, they took it over. So it was an independent country. And the day, I think it was Bukti, or one of the famous four leaders who would come to Delhi to meet the Indian leadership to say that we want to join you in the Dominion. And they heard on the radio that India had recognized Balochistan as a part of Pakistan. That's fact. That's a fact. And the poor guys went back and began their fight for independence. Pakistan is a country of 4 different entities. States like Sindh has nothing in common with Punjab. Baloch have nothing in common with the other 3. Far less with Punjab, a little bit with Sindh and an NW or KPK. So they just been put together. It's a piece of quilt that you put together, stitch it together, and leave them there for geopolitical reasons, i.e., against communist Russia, and in case something goes wrong in Iran or Afghanistan and India. So that's where the strategic requirements come. And when the Sultan of Oman offered us Gwadar, we said no. When the P4 hinted, would you like to join I don't know whether this is a fable or a lie, but generally said that they offered India a berth in the P5. We said, no, China is too. We were actually campaigning for China.
We were campaigning for China, yes, sir. The communist China.
Communist China. And they got it, and then they kicked us in the teeth. So we are not there to promote somebody else's interest. We are there to promote our interest. And you don't have to take enmity with everybody for that. There is no need. You don't have to go around bombing others out of hell and then say that I liberated you. Liberated you against what? You killed everything. For them, war has become a way of life. War outside the shores of, beyond the two lakes on either side. The Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, and the सब जगह लड़ाई होती रहे तो ठीक. There is a lot of money in that. Money for destroying and money for reconstructing. That is, now Africa will be the next place. I fear.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would like to conclude on that. It's been quite a learning experience and extended session, sir. I've learned so much about we started from the phenomenal counter-terrorism partnership and covered so much ground, sir. And only you can do that. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing time, sir. And I'll come back to you again very soon, sir. Thank you and Jai Hind, sir.
Bye.